Assalamu alaikum, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Abdul wakeel Nazari YouTube channel. Today we are talking about corporate governance. Today is the first lecture, the lecture of introduction. We're talking about case about corporate governance, and so actually corporate governance is a very good topic and very effective topic those for all those managers who wants to have a good management control or good have want and they want to have a good management power. So actually corporate governance for all those managers and for present or might be in the future. First about let me tell you something about corporate governance. What is we will cover this all about that. What is corporate governance, the benefits of corporate governance, the needs of corporate governance, and why we want to study corporate governance. So today is only day of the first lecture, that is introduction. The day of introduction we just go for introduction, all those introducing the companies of whatever we have, how many types of companies, construction of companies, and shares. So we will discuss the basic things today, this first lecture, so it might be very fruitful for all of you. So let me tell you about the general overview about the corporate governance. Corporate governance it's referred to the way of corporation is governed. Now it is the technique by which companies are directed and managed. So it is a corporate governance is a technique that directed and managed. Now let me tell you something, a brief benefits of corporate governance. So we will later on we'll go for highlight, we'll study more deeply. Just I'll give you just overview for that. So benefit of corporate governance, that's always we can say a good corporate governance, they ensure the corporate success, economically growth. So they are always about economical growth, success and then economical growth, and always think about all those good corporates. So it's the first benefit, the good corporate governance. The second one, the second benefit is for all we have, strong corporate governance maintains investors' confidence and reserve which companies can raise the capital of efficiently and effectively. Good corporate governance, they raise the capital effectively and efficiently, and they always lower the capital cost. They always lower the capital cost. Now these some benefits we have, like we have, it ensure organization and managed in manner that fits the best interest of all. Now good corporate governance having a positive effect on shareholders capital. Now these are the brief benefits for the benefits of corporate governance we have. Now let's move on to the next. We have about, we can talk about the companies and characteristics and types. Now how many types of companies we have. So later on I'll tell you, I'll show you with like a completely graphed about the companies. Now in here we have company and characteristic and types. Now company is a form of a business ownership with the following characteristics we have. Number one, we have its capital consists of several units and called shares. Now its capital consists of several units. Company is not only, their capital not only consists of only one person, several units. I mean the several people is called shares. shares, like a not only I, that only I am this owner. It means that it has thousands of owners, about this called what, shares. And we can call it, and their shares are here. We can call all those who are shareholders. The shares of company are generally freely transferable, primarily because, and we can say primarily because of popularity. Now shares, if I have a share, my share can be easily transferable. So it can be easily transferable from one person to another. So the company, you can share your, you can share, you can transfer your share to another person easily without any barriers, without any restrictions. The shareholders being separate, like I said, shareholders being a separate entity from the company have no liability toward the debt of the company. The shareholders being separate entity from, now company and shareholders, they both are separate entity. They both are separate entity. Now a company is considered a legal person, has an entity of its own. Now in the eyes of government, company is separate, a legal person, and quite separate from members of shareholders. In the eyes of government, shareholders are separate entity and companies are separate. A company is deemed to have indefinite life, is perpetual, continuously existence. Now for example, if shareholders are they're leaving, they are dying, leaving, so nothing affect on the company. It will continue. It will continue for years. So it is a perpetual, continuous existence. If you leave or stay, if you leave, so it will not affect on the company. The management of company is entrusted to people called directors, who are elected by shareholders. Now those managers, those management bodies who are involved inside the management, so they are elected by who? They are elected by shareholders. By how they are elected? By their power, by shares, by their sharing their powers. Definitely, if shareholders gain the shares of the company, definitely he will also receive some authority of giving. They had some authority of electing a bodies for what? For the management. So definitely, directors, they are elected by shareholders. Those management bodies are elected by who? By shareholders. There are two types of companies we have: unlimited companies and limited companies. Unlimited companies are those whose shareholders unlimited liability toward the liabilities of the company. This type of company is very real. It means that we don't have like this kind of a company in the world. Like shareholders have unlimited liability toward the company. Whatever the shareholder invested, they will receive more than this, more than their investment. I don't know how much. Their liability will be unlimited. So that is completely is not existent in this world. But limited companies are existed. Limited companies all exist all over the world. It is the one of whose members are liability towards companies that is restricted or stated sum. Shareholder, if you are invested, so you are only, you will, okay, like I say, limited is a member whose members' liability towards the company debt is restricted. They are restricted. The sum of the amount. If I am a shareholder, I bought 1,000 shares, so I am restricted on my 1,000 shares. I will receive my liability on my 1,000 shares, not more than this. So that is restricted for that. Limited companies are also two types we have. Limited companies are more than we divided into two types. Companies limited by guarantee and companies limited by share. Now, company limited by guarantee generally has no capital, share, and its members are agreed to guarantee to pay a stated sum towards the settlement of a company's liabilities in the event is failure or fully repay all of its creditors at the time of company's liquidation. Non-profit organization, NGOs, like NGOs we have. In NGOs, no one invested their money, but they ensure their serve. Suppose if we are facing a failure in the future, so we will contribute this much amount of money. So they signed, they guaranteed that. So limited by guarantee, general, but the members are guaranteed to pay. They are giving assurance to the management that we paying that much amount if we are facing failure in the future. If you are failed in the future, we are paid that much amount of money. So it's a kind of, or we can say this kind of limited by guarantees is existing in NGOs. Limited companies limited by shares generally has a share capital and a liability of its member. The shareholder is limited by par value or face value of shares held by them. Now, if the company is facing, let's suppose company is only by share. If I am a shareholder, if I am an investor, let's suppose a company is demolished or is a stage of liquidation, so I am liable to pay that much amount of money that I have invested. Par value of that, face value. I've invested my 1,000 rupees, so I will be, that's it, I will be guaranteed on only up to 1,000 rupees, not more than this. So I'll pay the liability only 1,000 rupees. I'll pay the liquidation amount only 1,000 rupees, not more than this. So that's limited by shares, only shares, because I have that much share, so that amount of money I can pay that. Companies limited by shares may again be of two types. So it also has two types: private limited company and public limited company. Now there we have difference. We have private limited company and public limited company. Private limited company, its shares are generally not freely transferable, so it is private. In private we have the shares are not freely transferable. We can say that the companies we may have made it by 2% partnership we have, so it cannot be freely transferable. It has a formal, you have to a formality, a procedure, you will follow that. So that is now rules and regulation will be conducted for you, that how you can transfer your shares to another person. So you will invite all the bodies of the management and all. So that's with all and with the face standing in with a lot of bodies, and you are freely transferable, introducing the person in the company. That it has a long history. We can say a long story for that. For how to transferable. So you cannot freely transfer your share to another person. So it can have no less than 2 or more than 50 members, excluding employees. No, it can be 2% or more than 2, but not less than, not above 50. In the range of 2, in the range of 2 and 50, the shareholder should be, or in private limited companies you have. So its shares are not offered for subscription or general public. The shares of this private limited company cannot be advertised, publicly announced to the people. We cannot, the company cannot announce its share to the publicly, right? The words private limited form part of the name of the company. Now, the word private limited can be shown that in the company name, like a company is here. So the PVT shows that private limited company. And the second, we have public limited companies, that its shares are freely transferable easily without any restriction. It can have any number of shareholders, excess of 7, which is the minimum number and required by law. minimum is 7, more than is uncountable. We have how much. Now its shares can be offered for public. Yeah, the shares can be easily, it can be offered for publicly. You can, in the stock exchange, you can get the shares from the stock exchange, like as we have in Pakistan. We have Karachi Stock Exchange, so where the shares of a company is buying and selling there. Now company characteristic and its types. A public, same is continued. A public limited company can again be listed and unlisted. A listed or public limited company is one whose shares are traded in the stock exchange. Definitely, a listed company, all those companies whose shares are in the market and they are publicly announced and their shares are sell out in a company, inside the company, not inside the company, inside the stock exchange. And public limited company can decide not to list it at the stock exchange, in which case it can sell its shares on to public through person contact and placement and through an open offer to public. Yeah, it's a public limited company. That's when you have public limited company, like I say, a listed, their shares are listed in stock exchange, and public limited company, and we have the shares are not listed in the company. They are giving by personal contact and personal no family kinship. We have whatever we have, their family relation or friends. So they're selling their shares all to those people who they are familiar with it. Now many companies are either wholly or substantially owned and controlled by the government, and PIA, PSOC, OGDC, and etc. Such companies are called corporations. Now many companies are, we can say, substantially they are not, because PIA shares are sold out partially, and like I said, we're talking about the PTCL. PTCL shares are, I mean, half shares are bought by Etisalat, so they are not completely. So we can call these companies are what? Corporations. The classification of companies we have, like we have companies, we have limited company, limited liability companies, unlimited liability company, and limited liability companies. Companies limited by guarantee, companies limited by shares, private limited company, and we have public limited companies, listed public limited company, and unlisted public limited company. Now next we have the hierarchy of a company. The hierarchy of a company, we have like a hierarchy. We have first we have the board of directors, that CEO, then we have managers. After managers we have employees and non-managerial skills, and the hierarchical level is we can call level of hierarchy. Now the running of a limited company is entrusted to a board of directors whose members are elected by the shareholder. Definitely everyone knows that the shareholders elect the bodies of directors by their voting rights. And board of directors does not actually run the company, right? Board of directors, they are not running the company, they are only overseeing, only that observing, and the team of the professional hired for, yeah, definitely they'll hire the management, all those people who have having the management skills for that. And board of directors generally formulated the policies and which are implemented by the management. Definitely they are making the policy maker. They make the policies, and the board of directors will make a policy for that, and policy will they will implement by the manager. Manager will be and generally formulate the policies which implemented by manager. Management are implemented. Members of management teams may also be members of a board of directors. Such members are known as executive members. Definitely. So management members, definitely those, some management there also have a inside them in both. Rather we have in the board of directors, they also taking parts in the board of directors, and as well as in the taking parts in in management. So, and they're called CEO, the chief executive, we can say officers or executive members we can call, because they are in the middle. Definitely, so if it's in the middle, so they are, like I say, whistleblower. We can call a whistleblower. So you know better, whistleblower means the person who convey the message with silently or without informing others. So what's going on here and what's going on there, right? So they are mostly connected with the board of directors, and they are giving a message to the board of directors, the executives. So this is the level of we can say the like here shareholders elect the so actually the rows are a little bit disturbance here, so it should be rows like the upward. Now shareholders select board of directors, and directors then select their the best employees or the management bodies they select for the company for the day-to-day basis of their looking what's going on inside the company. Now key players in a company, we have the key players in a company. We have shareholders who elected the first one. You have definitely shareholders are the key players, because they are investing their money. They're investing their money and they're investing their money inside the company. That's why they are the key players. And the chairman of the board who may or may not be executive of a company. So definitely the chairman of the board, and directors, which include those who may be employed, for example executive directors, and those who are only serve on a board of non-executive directors. Yeah, so directors, they are also a key player role in the chief executive officers, as we talk about, and who may or not be director of the company. They are chief executive. They're in the middle. We have senior managers, and who actually run the company on the day-to-day basis. Definitely senior managers who are involved with day-to-day business, basis. They're looking observing the business employees, their working hours, working strategies. And now we have stakeholders in the company. Definitely stakeholders are also involved in it, but we are not taking that much care stakeholders, but they are involved. We take a touch. We are actually in stakeholders, or those who are not involved inside the management or inside the company, but they have a stake on it, stake on the company, like a stakeholder person who's in trust and stake in the company. Classification of stakeholders, we have like first owners, lenders, employees, business associate, and as the society. Now the owners, we have, they are actually, the owner is stakeholder just for sake of profit, and lenders is also who giving the lend of money to the company, and employees, their salary, and the business associate, supplier, and clients, we have those who are providing or giving a supply the goods, and the clients to whom they are giving the goods and supplying. And the society also, they are like how, which kind of society, a place where organization is built, and look the surround people, whether they are disturbing or not, they are complaining or not. So definitely if some problems are arising here, definitely they will do something, and they will complain on you on a government basis. We should take care of the society, that whether our company may or may not giving or what may or may not any creating problem for society, because this is a society that we are selling out our products, our goods on this society. This is a society which make us famous, and make us build and put us in higher and the top. The society, we take careful about the society giving, right? So we'll talk about later on about the society, what to do with the society to not show so that we don't have any complaint from society. So we'll talk about later on the next. So classification of stakeholder, we have these are classification of. So owner, we have those who fully opportunity controlling shareholders, and these are we have those with the partial opportunity. We have investors, board of representation. So these are we have classification that already we discussed. So from this you can see that you can easily understand about their classifications. Their role, what we have inside the company, right? So next one we have, so the last one we have the definition. Whatever we have studied, as I said to you that at the beginning about the corporate governance, its definition and as well as the benefits. So it will also, we have again talking about definition, we have it's the mechanism that we use to control and direct affairs of corporate bodies in order to serve and protect the individual and collective interest of the stakeholders. Definitely is stakeholders. So individually or collectively we are taking, so it's controlling direct affairs coming here, problems we can say that corporate the bodies in order to serve the protect individual. So individually or collectively interest those who need interest stakeholders. So not only the stakeholders but also our main focus is what about the shareholders. So actually it is a mechanism that controlling and directing affairs. So it is a definition that we are taking care of the interest of the stakeholders. So our fundamental focusing is on shareholders to look forward for their interest rather than stakeholders, because they are more involved, not these, because they are, while we are taking care of all those shareholders, we will study about the next and coming of lecture. This is lecture number 1. We'll talk about and we'll talk about the next lecture. In next lecture we will discuss about the what is corporate governance, need of corporate governors. So we'll discuss about their right. So thank you very much, thanks a lot. That's all the first lecture is. That's the wind up. I'm very glad. So first, it is the first time that I'm doing, I'm just introducing corporate governance. So I hope you like. Please, if you have any if you have any suggestions for making me good, so I'm trying to tell you that if I'm so human being is complete of mistake. If I've done any mistake in my pronunciation, my grammatically, so please don't be shy to highlight it, and I'm very glad. So it is better to highlight my grammatical mistake or pronunciation mistake. So please focus on the corporate governance. So it's what it's all about, and I hope that you will learn something from this. So please subscribe my channel, Abdul Wakeel Nazari, the YouTube channel, and I will share your subscription will give me motivation to upload good videos. Thanks a lot for your nice cooperation. Thank you. Bye bye.